It's great to meet you guys. I'm today going to basically talk about a topic in career counseling, and it basically talks about uh, the the issue of the issue of environment. Okay, we did talk about it before, but this is an important topic in the sense of usually in today's world, you have different environments. So you have an environment of basically a kind of a kind of closed environment or a friendly environment or a stern environment or a strict environment or a global environment or a mix of all. You have an environment that they're really into their work and it's really active. Usually journalism is like that, or media, or different producers, or international companies, franchise. Depends, right? So this is there. So we didn't talk about this before because this kind of a topic is famous. People think about it a lot, but in the real world, it's not in today's world like before because of the online world. Obviously, environment is very important. Okay, so environment is important. So in this case, yes, the online world is part of it. So, for example, today I'm talking English, so obviously that affects the culture environment that comes and views my videos or views my YouTube channel or anything linked to it. Yes, okay, for sure. Different than other languages. Okay? And obviously, if I open up to other languages, like I have the second language Arabic because I live in Cairo, Egypt, and it's my second native language. So I'm bilingual between English and Arabic. And basically, I have these two cultures. So in this case, it's really important, okay? Because you have a different kind of culture. There are other factors that can go on and on and on the list, okay? This is really important because you never even think about it, but it does make a difference. So if you're looking in the beginning or middle or afterwards of your career, it's important also to look at who are you dealing with? Who is your culture? Is it far away from where you live? Does that affect you? Besides the different things we talked about before, it's also important of the culture that's there. Maybe the geographical location does affect your culture. Is it advantages for you, or is it against you? Okay? Or it's not really a factor. It's just there. Okay? It's important for you to know where you are. So, are you in a kind of a friendly culture, global culture altogether, literary culture, mathematical culture, engineering? You would think that it's common sense, but it's not. And opposite sometimes it's a given. If it's a given, that's great. If not, especially in the beginning, you have different options, especially with internships and different things and different kinds of places where you have excellent experience. And you think, something right now after having this experience, I want a more of a medical culture. I want more of a scientific culture, more of a friendly culture, more of a, humanistic culture, more of a professional culture, okay, ethical, moral culture, okay, in that sense, okay. So this is really important because the environmental factor of where am I, what is the character of where I work in. Maybe you've been 10 years, but you never thought about the character of it. Okay? Is it the character is it like very stern? Are they into different kinds of priorities? Maybe you never thought about it. It's great for you to write a list and think about it because it does help you if you want to change your career or if you want to stay and develop to have a kind of certain pathway. Sometimes it's not the greatest thing because it may be a burden on you. You never thought that you are part of a global company and that's why you're strong. You thought, in the sense of your job professional. Okay. So, in the sense, obviously, you are strong, but in the sense of it's an advantage for you that you never thought about. You thought, for example, I don't know, for a different factor. You suddenly believe that you are in a big international company and you never had that stress, or you opposite, you never had that kind of attention. Okay. And so you look at it in a different way. Okay. On the contrary, some people they okay, that's great, and they move on, and it's not a big deal for them. Okay, in that sense. Does that make sense? Okay. Because you need to know that the sometimes it's for you, like I said. So, okay, I'm an international company. That means I can open up more connections. I can open up more things I wanted. I can obtain my objectives. I never noticed that before. And it may be, some careers are like that. Okay, it may be because of different reasons you were always international and you never thought about that before, in the sense of, okay, great. Always international company, that's great. Okay. Sometimes it may be a walk, and why didn't you think about it before? That's a good question, okay, to ask yourself. Maybe the company changed and they're attracting and it's going down the drain. That's an important part you have to think about. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe actually it's right now it's comfortable to announce to the world about what I'm right now an international company. Before we weren't really formal about it or outright because of different reasons. Maybe economic or political situations. Maybe different. It's a situation for that branch in the world of in the global world or franchise of that company. It wasn't highly accredited, or it wasn't very stable, or for different reasons it didn't really talk about it. And now you have precision. Oh, it's an international company. Yes, it is. But we weren't stable in this location for different reasons. And they say, okay, that's great. And you go. Does that make sense? You see how environment makes a big difference here. Okay, and so in this case, okay, that's why I didn't know it was international in that sense. Okay, and that's great. You feel like you're part of this branch, you develop this branch, you have a kind of base for you. You should think, especially if you're a full timer, part timer, even freelancer, right? You have that kind of advantage in the future. It's been 10 years, and guess what? I have that kind of advantage. Okay. Now, sometimes you're a freelancer. That's great, but obviously you're not like a full timer, but you are also there, and that's also effective. It depends also the environment. Some environments they prefer freelance, some no, they prefer full timers. If you prefer freelancers, would it be stable? No, right? It wouldn't be stable, but some jobs they like it. It's a challenge, and it's for their it's for their professional, basically, background in that sense. Okay, does that make sense? Because you have different kinds of options, okay, and you have different kinds of things. So you know there are a lot of, when you're in the beginning of your career, it's nice to look at these, think about these options. Do I want international? Do I want to be in 10 years international company? I'm loyal to it and they're loyal to me. Or do I want to be a freelancer? What are my priorities? Obviously, in the beginning, it's good to know that you should think about stability. And on the opposite side, you should think about that you like your job. Some people like adventurous jobs. Some people like no stable jobs. Some people like to try new things, to know themselves. So I graduated from university, I don't know. Okay, great. So what kind of internship, what kind of experience do you want? Do you want a stable experience? Or do you want maybe an unstable one and then you go to stable one? Some people, they do that. What they do is, okay, for the first year it's kind of freelancer with I don't know what, it's unstable, and then afterwards you stable. The drawback is that it may affect you, the unstable, in the sense of affects their character. Okay, although it may be a challenge, by the way, don't think unstable is easy. It can be very hard and a big challenge if you're not used to it. If you're used to it, that's great, but usually it's not. Some people love challenges, and that's why they love it. And they go to stable and they go down the drain because they're used to the adventure. If you had a drawback, then you'll love the stable. Okay? And and you'll love to deal with them and you'll be stable usually. Sometimes you'll find that because you are in unstable and you go to stable, they're really picky or you have drawbacks in the sense that you find it a challenge. This is important to know. The same thing with different characters of environments. Maybe it's very friendly, you go to a very stern and mean one. Maybe they're engineers, they're opening a project in 2 years, it's supposed to be 5 years, and they're high achievers. They're very mean. You're not used to that challenge. It's not about actually maybe it does happen. You are far more excelling than they are. But you have an issue there. Okay, the issue is that you can't. They're really mean. Okay, they're really mean in different senses. It's very challenging. It's very competitive, or maybe I don't know. It was you needed. It's very mean. Does that make sense? Different pictures. You're used to a friendly environment. You have to make sure you know these details. Okay, especially if you want to travel, or you're doing contract, or guess what? You don't want to go to experience that affects you negatively. Really, you're very, very rebellious, kind of in your beginning of years, and you want a nice career. Sometimes that's not wrong. You have other priorities. Maybe you're getting married. That's even worse, right? You have other things. You can't, you know, have a blow in your career during marriage. Maybe you're getting children. Maybe you actually want to get to have friends, know more about the new place you're in. You want to have fun in the country. We're living there for a year. You have to take that into consideration for the environment. Okay? Maybe it's a challenging job and they got you on the last minute or they got you because it's a high stressful job. Then obviously you have to take that into consideration and not think about I'm going to go and have fun in the country. Obviously not. Okay? It's not wrong to go and, every weekend to organize in that way, but you have to keep that into consideration. Okay? It's not your number one priority. Some environments they do take that into consideration that they want to have fun in that country, or they want it's a country oriented on environment outside, maybe hiking or parks or going. It's in the capital city, but they have amazing different cities and other places, and they take that into consideration. Um, uh, some countries, for example, they have challenging jobs, and they also have that. So what they do is they make room for such programs or things. So take that into consideration also. Now, obviously, I'm not thinking about the dream job, you're in heaven and you get that all in front of you, but it goes back to you. Okay, you can make way, if not this weekend, the next weekend. I'm really tired. That's great. Maybe the next weekend you can do a group, and guess what? You can go and have fun in the nearby famous spot, like 2 hours away. Have a nice day and come back. Okay? It's you can't get it all, like they say, but balance it out. Okay, this is important. This is all for environment really important when you take your career choices. And we didn't talk about in this perspective before because it's one of those kind of complicated and one of those perspectives that need actually a lot of thinking. And at the same time, sometimes you take it on the spot. Okay, and you want to make sure that you really organize yourself according to the different needs of your character and the environment. Have a great day in summer.